Defendant is guilty of the crime of sexual battery and set punishment at 8 years.
But who is Daniel Holtzclaw, and what led to this moment of reckoning? Daniel Holtzclaw is a former Oklahoma City police officer who is accused of multiple counts of rape, sexual battery, and other sex offenses by 13 women, all of whom were African American and had criminal histories. He was convicted of 18 of these counts, and his crimes were committed while he was on duty as a police officer.
They don't know the officer's name, none of that. And you said that you made a traffic stop after work,
Yep.
but you didn't call it in.
I didn't call it up.
Where was that?
It was about Northeast 50th and Lincoln, just to the west.
Okay, tell me about that stop.
I was going westbound on Northeast 50th, probably a block just east of Lincoln. I see a red Grand Prix or Grand Am in my right lane, in the outside lane. I'm in the inside lane. The car swerves, and so at the time I'm thinking, okay, it's probably a drunk person, or maybe got excited because they saw a cop. So I kind of fall behind it, kind of drifting just a little bit, not crossing lane lines, nothing crazy. So I lighted up because at first the traffic violation I saw at first when it swerved.
Daniel Holtzclaw's crimes were not just heinous, but also calculating and deliberate. As a police officer, he used his position to exploit and coerce vulnerable women into sexual acts. He ran background checks to gather information that could be used to blackmail his victims, preying on their fears and vulnerabilities. The fact that 13 of his victims were black women with criminal histories raises disturbing questions about racial bias and systemic inequality. During the trial, the defense attempted to discredit the victims by highlighting their criminal records. However, the prosecution argued that Holtzclaw had deliberately targeted these women because of their vulnerabilities. The jury ultimately found Holtzclaw guilty on 18 of 36 charges, and he was sentenced to 263 years in prison, effectively a life sentence. As Holtzclaw heard the verdict, he broke down in tears, begging for mercy.
Mr. Holtzclaw, this jury finds you guilty of the various counts. You will be remanded to the custody of the Oklahoma County Sheriff for formal sentencing set January 21st, 2016 at...
Unfortunately, Daniel Holtzclaw's case is not an isolated incident, and there are many such examples of police officers abusing their power and committing heinous crimes. One such case is that of Marcus Eberhart and Howard Weems. On April 11, 2014, officers responded to a call regarding a domestic dispute at a townhome community involving a man named Gregory Towns and his girlfriend. Upon encountering the police in the parking lot, Towns fled into a nearby wooded area, but was quickly apprehended and handcuffed. A police body cam video shows that officers Eberhart and Weems instructed Towns to stand and walk to a patrol car when they arrived on the scene. Towns, however, informed them that he was out of breath and unable to comply. In response to his statement, the officers deployed their stun guns on him multiple times. After being repeatedly shocked, Towns lost consciousness and subsequently died.
Nicely, please step out of the car. If you don't step out of the car, I'm going to assist you out of the car. Get out of the car! Get out of the car! Y'all breaking all kinds. Y'all done break up the car. Back up, I'm going to tase. Back up, I'm going to tase. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Run over!
In August 2014, Towns' family filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the two officers and the city of East Point. The city settled the lawsuit for $1 million in November, providing some financial relief to the family as they sought justice for their loss. Chris Stewart, a lawyer for the Towns family, stated that the officers acted against the law and used rules they weren't supposed to. He emphasized that their actions were unjustified and highlighted the need for accountability. This reinforces the importance of following proper procedures to ensure justice and protect the community.
This is a direct violation of their own rules. You cannot use a taser to escort or prod a subject. They used their tasers as a cattle prod on Mr. Towns while cuffed. while handcuffed.
Former East Point Police Sergeant Marcus Eberhart and former Corporal Howard Weems was charged with serious crimes. They faced felony murder, aggravated assault, involuntary manslaughter, reckless conduct, and violations of their oaths as officers.
As to State of Georgia versus Howard Weems, we, the jury, find the defendant not guilty of count 1, felony murder, not guilty of count 2, aggravated assault, guilty of count 3, guilty of count 4, not guilty of count 8, guilty of count 9, and guilty of count 10. Did I correctly read that verdict, Mr. Morris? Yes, sir. Would you please hand each?
In court, Eberhart was found guilty on all counts and given a life sentence, showing how serious the judge viewed his actions. His reckless behavior resulted in the loss of a life, and the court aimed to hold him fully accountable. The victim's family started crying when they learned the officers were found guilty of murder. This moment brought a mix of relief and sadness as they felt a sense of justice for their loved one. Their emotional response highlighted the deep impact of the case and the importance of accountability in such tragic situations.
I hereby sentence him to 25 years in the Department of Corrections. And on count 2, I hereby sentence Mr. Raja to 25 years in the Department of Corrections. That is as a minimum mandatory, which was required that he serve day for day. Those sentences will run concurrently. From a sentencing standpoint, have I covered everything state?
Marcus Eberhart and Howard Weems' case is not unique. Numerous instances exist where police officers have abused their authority and committed horrific crimes. One such case is that of Newman K Raja from the Palm Beach Gardens Police Department.
Raja graduated from the police academy in 2008.
Well, right after Officer Raja graduated from the police academy here, he was hired by Atlantis PD. It's the only other job he's ever had as a police officer aside from where he is now at Palm Beach Gardens. And we've managed to get his personnel file from Atlantis PD, and we've gone through it. Now, there are a number of people that are saying they believe there is a racial component to the shooting that Officer Raja is at the center of right now, and we found documents in his personnel file that reference the issue.
On October 18, 2015, a senseless tragedy unfolded on a highway exit ramp in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. Corey Jones, a 31-year-old African-American man, was shot to death by police officer Newman K Raja while waiting for a tow truck to arrive for his disabled vehicle. Corey Jones, a church musician, was driving home from a gig when his car broke down on the exit ramp of Interstate 95. He pulled over to the side of the road and called for a tow truck to assist him. As he waited, Officer Newman K Raja, who was in plain clothes and driving an unmarked white van, approached Jones. Within seconds of approaching Jones, Raja fired 6 shots at him, striking him 3 times. The shooting was sudden and unexpected, leaving Jones with no chance to defend himself. The audio recording of the incident, which was later released.
Stop. I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah. Get your hands up! Get your hands up!
Would contradict Raja's initial claims that he had identified himself as a police officer and shot Jones in self-defense.
Drop the gun! Drop the gun! Drop the gun! And as he's running, he gets about right just a little past where the body will start, and he does this, and I see his whole body, and I saw like a flash, silver flash, come at me, and in my head, I immediately said, aim, aim, and I was like, aim, and I was like, and I just that front sight right in the center.
The investigation into the shooting revealed a disturbing pattern of deception and misconduct by Officer Raja. The audio recording of the incident showed that Raja had not identified himself as a police officer before opening fire on Jones. In fact, Raja's actions were more akin to an ambush than a legitimate police stop. The recording also revealed that Jones was cooperative and non-threatening in the moments leading up to the shooting.
What's the address of the vehicle location?
I'm off the PGA southbound exit on 95.
on 95.
I-95 exit PGA southbound.
Okay, is there any, hold on, let me write southbound down. Is there any buildings, landmarks, anything like that, that I could use to pinpoint your address?
Stop. I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah. Get your fucking hands up. Get your fucking hands up. Go.
Oh my gosh. There's gunshots.
On March 7, 2019, Newman K Raja was convicted of manslaughter by culpable negligence and attempted murder in the shooting death of Corey Jones. The verdict marked a rare instance of a police officer being held accountable for a fatal shooting. Raja was sentenced to 25 years in prison, a punishment that was seen as a measure of justice for Jones' family and community. Raja's reaction to the verdict was one of shock and disbelief. Raja said he was innocent, but the evidence, including a recording of what happened, proved he was guilty. When the judge said he was guilty, Raja's confident face changed to one of shock and sadness. He looked like he was in a nightmare. His eyes were wide with fear, and his face was pale. The officer was taken away in handcuffs, his career over, his good name ruined. Jones' family said they were happy that justice was done, but also very sad that nothing could bring their loved one back. David Carrick, a former Metropolitan Police officer who joined the force in 2001, is a convicted serial rapist whose crimes spanned 17 years. He served as an armed officer in the Parliamentary and Diplomatic Protection Branch from 2009 until his suspension and subsequent sacking in 2021. In October 2021, a woman decided to tell the police that Carrick had date raped her a year earlier. She felt that she wanted to come forward after hearing about a police officer from the same unit who was sentenced for the rape and murder of Sarah Eberhart. The day after her report, Carrick was arrested at his home in Hertfordshire on October 2nd. When police recorded the arrest, he was heard saying, "There's no necessity," as if he didn't think it was needed.
These are the necessities that I've just explained to you.
No necessities. Well, keep going.
Well, that's 1 of 3, 1 of 4. So, okay. Well, allow you to get some close.
What is it you're searching for?
Articles relating to the offences
in St Albans
in 2020. This is the allegation that's been made to us. Okay, sir.
There's no necessity.
Yes, there is.
So I've been a police officer for 20 years.
Right, David.
Do you want me to come naked like this?
No, just understand you're under arrest. Okay.
I'm under
just
arrest.
explain to us what you need.
One of Carrick's victims bravely shared her story, revealing the trauma she faced. Her courage to speak out shocked many, highlighting the serious issues of abuse and trust within the police.
That it'll be too harrowing to face a justice system that often fails women.
Exploiting his position of authority, Carrick preyed on vulnerable women, often targeting those he met through dating apps. His actions showed a disturbing abuse of power and trust as he manipulated victims using his status. In December 2022, during proceedings at the Old Bailey in central London, the judge noted that after his arrest, Carrick experienced severe depression due to the fear of punishment for his crimes. Disturbingly, he even attempted to take his own life as he grappled with the consequences of his actions.
In July 2022 and December 2022, you were removed from Her Majesty's Prison Belmarsh and detained at the Rampton Secure Hospital.
The judge accepted Carrick's plea to 49 charges, including 24 counts of rape involving 12 women. He was sentenced to 36 years in prison, with a minimum of 30 years before he can be considered for release. This shocking news revealed the seriousness of his actions and the deep betrayal of trust within the police.
This makes a total of 36 life sentences. The minimum term you will have to serve before the parole board can think of releasing you is 30 years, 239 days. And you may go down.
We've seen it all. The shocking crimes, the dramatic trials, and the daring life sentences that left these dirty cops speechless. These cops thought they could get away with it, but they were wrong. These cases prove that no one is above the law, not even those who are sworn to uphold it. But we want to hear from you. What do you think about these cases? Do you think the sentences were fair? Do you think there's more that can be done to prevent police misconduct in the future? Join the conversation in the comments below and share your thoughts. We want to hear your opinions and engage in a discussion about the importance of holding police officers accountable for their actions. Love courtroom drama and real-life justice? Then hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you're always up to date with our latest videos.